the cabal's plan includes using Western military operatives. So these are not Ukrainians. The secret terror blueprints for the U.S. National Security Council that was sent to the U.S. National Security Council. It was then almost all of these things, or maybe all of these things, were ultimately implemented in Ukraine. And some of them may continue to be used even after there's a peace plan. Believe it or not, Trump is literally sitting down with Putin and other world leaders in order to try and create peace in Ukraine. Trump is a piece of human garbage in other regards, but in this one, it's rather positive to not see hundreds of thousands of people murdered in Ukraine. I don't know. Did I say something?
To each his own.
So yeah, I say something that shocked you there. Explosive leaked documents reviewed by the Gray Zone show how a shady transatlantic collective of academics and military intelligence operatives conceived schemes which would lead to the U.S., quote, helping Ukraine resist to prolong the proxy war by virtually any means short of American and NATO forces deploying to Ukraine or attacking Russia. Any way possible that you can just wreak havoc, kill people, anger Russia, draw them in. These were delivered directly to the highest-ranking relevant U.S. National Security Council official in the Biden administration. Proposed operations ranged from covert military options to jihadist-style psychological operations against Russian civilians, with the authors insisting, quote, we need to take a page from ISIS's playbook. Joffrey, with some of your stand-up, you take a page from ISIS's playbook.
Yeah. Lock the doors, and I'm like, you got two options: either laugh or you don't want to know the other option.
The intelligence cabal also proposed modernizing IEDs, improvised explosive devices, like those staged by Iraqi insurgents against occupying U.S. troops for a potential stay-behind guerrilla army in Russia, which would attack rail lines, power plants, and other civilian targets. Many of the cabal's recommendations were subsequently enacted by the Biden administration, dangerously escalating the conflict and repeatedly crossing Russia's clearly stated red lines. The document was written and co-signed by quartet of academic armchair warriors. I don't think they mean they sang together.
Damn it.
That would be amazing.
You saw me perk up right there.
Yeah. They included historian Andrew Orr, the director of the Kansas State Institute for Military History, Ash Roseter, the assistant professor of international security at the UAE's Khalifa University, described as an ex-British Army Intelligence Corps. Also participating, Marcel Plichta, the doctoral candidate at St. Andrews, described as a veteran of the U.S. Defense Intelligence Agency. And Zachary Kallenborn, a self-styled U.S. Army, quote, mad scientist, currently pursuing his PhD in war study at King's College London with a focus on drones, WMD, and other edgy forms of modern warfare. Can you imagine saying, I'm focusing, I'm focusing on drones and IEDs. Kallenborn, who was moonlighted at the DC-based Center for Strategic and International Studies, contributed to the Ukraine war planning by offering proposals for Iraqi insurgent-style smart IED attacks on Russian targets, planting bombs on Russian trains and railways.
My God.
Boy, that sounds a lot like terrorism, does it not? I mean, maybe I need to brush up on the dictionary definition, but
it's so crazy to see because, obviously, on one hand, it's like, oh, the U.S. plans to arm otherwise fringe Sunni jihadist groups to accomplish our political aims. On one hand, business as usual, right? But on the other hand, it's so insane to see this written down on paper. You know what I mean? And it's mind blowing.
Yeah, and for people that watch this show a lot, I don't think it's shocking to them that the U.S. basically does anything and everything, that the U.S. is willing to be involved in funding and arming terrorists or even putting forward terrorist plans, isn't shocking. But again, to see it written down, to see the documents where these people send internally to our national security state, hey, here's how to commit terrorism in Ukraine.
It's mind blowing.
Explain to me why this is any different from being ISIS or something like that. It's because
it's one layer. It's like the Kevin Bacon thing. It's U.S. is
degree
always
removed.
6 degrees away from ISIS, at least. Here we are 1 degree away from ISIS.
Yeah, it's like it doesn't count as putting a bomb on a train if it comes from a guy at a university. Like if you
Yeah.
if you studied at a university under, did your thesis on drones and you send a recommendation to the U.S. military to secretly through a third party put a bomb on a train, that's not terrorism.
Yes, that's just whatever fucking DC based blah blah blah.
The cabal appears to have been led by Mark DeVore, a senior lecturer at Britain's St. Andrews University.
Yeah, that's always look. I'm not a part of a terror group. I'm part of a cabal. Right?
Yeah.
It's different.
Yeah. No,
it's just a little cabal.
There needs to be an app for that, like getting together your own cabal. How to find cabal friends. First on the list was arming Ukrainian immigrants with anti-tank and anti-aircraft missiles due to Kiev's lack of trained crews to operate the large number of missiles being shipped to them by the West. Basically, we were shipping so many missiles to Ukraine, they didn't have enough people to operate them, so you got to also ship in some people to operate the missiles. Calling for Western intelligence agencies to provide cyber tools and suggestions to volunteer hackers who want to strike their blow for Ukrainian independence, while also warning them what targets we do not want attacked. The major task for these volunteer cyber warriors could be to make certain that videos of Russian indiscriminate attacks, the use of objectionable weapons such as thermobarics, Ukrainian civilian casualties, Russian casualties, and poor, befuddled, captured Russian conscripts are made available to Russian audiences. Simultaneously, patriotic hackers could seek to bombard Russians with propaganda about domestic opposition to the war. We need to take a page from ISIS's playbook in agilely communicating our message to Russians. Is ISIS good communicators? Do they go viral a lot? I don't know.
Well, yeah, they did. Yeah. They definitely did.
Trying to get Western intelligence agencies to launch surgical cyber attacks to disrupt key systems at key moments because there will be more plausibly attributable to the truly amateur component. So I only read half that sentence, but what it's saying is that Western intelligence, so U.S. and British, basically intelligence, would do cyber attacks on Russian, key systems, and that is industrial, terrorism. It's industrial sabotage by countries that are not technically at war with Russia, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and blaming those attacks on the amateur hackers. So this is exactly what was done. It's not hackers, but exactly what was done with Nord Stream was like, we blow up Nord Stream and then we go, it clearly was some rogue Ukrainian agents that swam 100 feet down to the ocean floor and blew up the multi-billion-dollar pipelines. But this would be with hackers. You destroy something in Russia and then you say, oh, those amateur hackers are getting pretty good.
Wow. We really live in hell. It's getting more and more hellish, and like the the new technologies and stuff, and it's like these new horrors every day.
Yeah. The dystopianism is rising to new levels.
Yeah.
So I highlighted this because this also speaks to what Anonymous is nowadays. Many people think very fondly still to this day of Anonymous back when it was going after the bankers and stuff. But Anonymous has been almost entirely captured by CIA and U.S. intelligence. And so now almost whenever, I mean, maybe every time, when Anonymous announces a target, it always aligns with CIA interests.
That's hilarious.
So Ukraine's cyber army collaborates closely with Anonymous, the once countercultural online hacker collective whose work now tracks closely with objectives of the CIA. The authors of the proposal for the NSC hinted at the relationship, writing, hacking groups such as Anonymous have already begun targeting Russia. This effort could be enlarged and enhanced. Like, you never hear about Anonymous anymore, and when you do, it's like, we're going to get Iran.
That's hilarious.
And you're like, why did Anonymous switch from going after the billionaires to going after Iran? Like,
yeah, now it's all about the puppy hacker polycule anyways. I don't know if you heard about them, but they're the ones, they just leaked all the U.S. police manuals from around the country, and they're called I believe the puppy hacker polycule. Something like
Puppy
that.
hacker polycule?
Something like that. Polycule of puppies, and they're like
Nice.
all their imagery is very like feminine and cartoony and fun, but that's what they're doing.
Love it. Love it. A series of detailed recommendations for attacking Russian railway systems and roads with improvised explosion devices. I'm gonna go out on a limb here. If you attack Russian railways, what are the odds you kill innocent people? And assuming you kill innocent people, does that not count as terrorism? Certainly sounds like terrorism to me.
Sort of questions that are just impossible to answer. Too complicated. Who knows?
While references to Ukraine's game-changing use of F-16s have all but disappeared from the media in the months since, the leaked proposal's contents raise serious questions about how many supposedly Ukrainian strikes deep inside Russia were actually perpetrated by Western military operatives acting at the behest of and with the material assistance from NATO and the U.S. Yeah, because the plan, the cabal's plan, includes using Western military operatives. So these are not Ukrainians. These are those who understand better how to operate the systems and the F-16s, et cetera, and using them to attack within Russia, which, of course, pushes us ever closer to nuclear war. And while Trump's discussion of ethnic cleansing, his push for more ethnic cleansing in Gaza has been horrific so far, and this does not mean it will continue this way, so far, what Trump's done in his behaviors has actually taken us much farther back from the brink of nuclear war than we were under Biden.
Yeah.
I'm not saying that will remain that way. Trump may do like he did with the Iranian general and assassinate some high-level official that then pushes us towards nuclear war. But at the moment, Trump's actions have actually decreased the risk that you and I will be obliterated at the blink of an eye.
Yep. That's our chaotic queen, Donald Trump. You never know what. You never know what.
Our queen of chaos, yeah. I'm sure he'd love that moniker.